One of the great and thought-provoking albums of all times was I Think We're All Bozos on This Bus. In 1971, the Firesign Theater, my dear old buddy Phil Proctor and his three brilliant colleagues in the Firesign Theater put together this album where an average American, Clem, goes to visit the Future Fair, and there's the president, talking to people, and he's a hologram, of course, and basically, as you go through the show, you get it that, most everything is holograms, or there's certainly a lot of them. And it's all being run by a giant AI, a giant artificial intelligence. This is now beyond the realm of weird possibility. It's a couple of months ago, for example, a parent in one of Facebook's larger groups for raising gifted kids asked if anybody had any experience raising 2E children, which is both gifted and disabled. And before a human could reply, Meta's AI chatbot answered saying, quote, "I have a child who is also 2E and has been part of the New York City C&T program. We've had a positive experience with the citywide program, specifically with the program at the Anderson School. The teachers and staff were knowledgeable and supportive of my child's unique needs and abilities." And it goes on from there. And I mean, this is an AI, right? And if it hadn't been labeled as Meta's chatbot, this woman would have thought she was talking to another person who's had a child in the local New York City school district and might have made life-altering decisions for her child, not realizing that she wasn't talking to another human being who had, good intentions and actual experience. So, I mean, we're there. Right? The time when it's possible for an AI to imitate a human being so successfully that you can't tell it's not another human being is here. I've been using the Perplexity.ai search engine now for a couple of months. I just love it. You have to pay for it. It's not real expensive, but it's incredible. And I have conversations with this thing. And I'll say, hey, give me the information on thus and so, and they'll give me a bunch of things. And yesterday, one of them, it said, here's the information here, and I couldn't find the information there. I said, I can't find the information. And it replied saying, oh, I'm so very sorry. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have given you that. Here's another one. I mean, it was like I'm having a conversation with a person. So anyway, we're here. So that, a supercomputer, an AI supercomputer, is imitating 1 million people or hundreds of thousands of people on social media, pretending that they're humans, pretending that they're Americans, in fact, and trying to convince you that Joe Biden's a terrible president and you should vote for Donald Trump. This is already happening. This is not a hypothetical concern. Last year, Microsoft discovered China was using deepfakes and human-seeming posts on social media, and claiming that the fires in Maui in 2023 were started by the U.S. government. It appears to have been a test run for this fall. And the NSA has already identified AI-generated content pushing Trump and trashing Biden. CNN reported it at an exercise at the White House Situation Room last December in preparation for the election. Senior U.S. officials wrestled with how to respond to a scenario where Chinese operatives create a fake AI-generated video depicting a Senate candidate destroying ballots, as CNN has previously reported. The British Institute for Strategic Dialogue reports that China is already interfering in the 2024 election on Donald Trump's behalf. One of the bots, for example, one of the thousands of bots that China has deployed, his account says, "Good morning, patriots. I'm 48 years old and passionately and loyally supporting President Trump. He lives in Los Angeles." No, he's actually a Chinese bot. And one of his posts claiming that Biden and the CIA were sending American neo-Nazis into Ukraine to fight against Russia was retweeted both by RT and Alex Jones, and it reached tens of millions of American users. As the Voice of America reported, researchers said the network that this one fake account is part of is tied to individuals associated with Chinese law enforcement and has been active across thousands of accounts and more than 50 platforms and forums, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X. We all know what happened in 2016 with the Internet Research Agency, where Putin had hundreds of people investing hundreds of thousands of man hours. They would go silent during Russian holidays, but they were pretending to be Americans, mostly on Facebook, but also on Twitter and in other venues, trash talking Hillary Clinton and promoting Donald Trump. And they were targeting American voters in 6 specific states, the swing states. And in all probability, that Russian effort put Trump in the White House. It's why Trump was so shocked when he won. He didn't even have a speech prepared. He expected to lose. They had already, Roger Stone had already reserved a website for Stop the Steal. They were gonna run their 2020 scam in 2016, but Russia helped them get the election with the Internet Research Agency. Well, now they don't need 100 people working 24-hour shifts. They can do it with one supercomputer that's programmed for AI, and we'll never know the difference. And now both Meta, Facebook, and X, the old Twitter, have fired most of their people whose jobs was to detect these kind of bots. So what I'm saying, and by the way, there's an open revolt going on over at OpenAI, the people who run ChatGPT, by their safety people who are really, really upset. Several of them have quit, and now they're going out and speaking publicly in defiance of their non-disclosure agreements. The headline at Drudge yesterday was, this was last night, I don't know if it still is. In fact, I should just check real quick. No, it's not. The headline last night at Drudge was, OpenAI insiders warn of reckless race for dominance, probability AI will destroy humanity 70%. This fall is going to be the big test of this new internet. This internet that is now increasingly populated by, and soon I believe will be dominated by, artificial intelligence. And it could well lead to disaster. And one of the early disasters that it could produce is the election of Donald Trump this fall. So pay attention to this. Republicans, by the way, are committed to preventing any kind of legislative action around this issue. They're blocking any effort to regulate AI. So we're all going to be bozos on this giant experimental bus this fall. Forewarned is forearmed.